One of the greatest things in the world is the ability to create, change, adapt, and grow. We've had a lot of fun over the past year, 18 months on the show. So much has changed. So much has grown. So many new things have come out. So many new things to talk about. Frequencies have elevated. The coaching program is going through the roof. Everything is going really, really well at the Mental Mastery Alliance. The older version of me would have said, man, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. But every time something drops, it's great. And I think that has a lot to do with what we're putting out there, what you want to put out there, the energy that you want to emulate. And that being said, we have a brand new intro, and I'm really excited about it. The intro was done professionally. It's done amazingly. I even had some drops put in, which we'll get to a little bit later on. That's fun. You know, how many times have I been in the show and I've had to say, my standard saying, if you're going to soundbite this episode, you must take it in its entirety. We now have a drop. That's fun. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, allow me to introduce to you the show's new intro. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the most forward-thinking, inspirational podcast in this reality. The show designed to challenge everything we've been taught. If you've ever felt there had to be more to life, more to existence, then you're listening to the right podcast. Time to open your mind and dive in. This is the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast.
And here we go.
Now, how's that for a new intro? I knew that I kind of wanted to change things up a little bit. I wanted to spice things up a little bit, and this kind of goes into what I'm going to be talking about today. But I just felt that, it seems like the music that I was playing, it sent a message, and it does, continues to send the message. And sort of once you see the message, Alan Watts says it best. When you get the message, hang up the phone. And that really parlays into so many things as you sort of progress through. And I really like the intro. I really like the splicing of the music. I like the artistic flair that we put into it. I like all that sort of stuff. I like that those songs all have a message. Those songs are literally all telling us something in every version, in every cantation that I ever used. It aligned with the moment in time. And some of the songs were created years ago. Some of the songs were fresh. But they all seem to be speaking about this stuff. And people could say, well, hell, you can find anything and anything else. And yeah, sure, why not? But, to really have these things hammered down and nailed down, and to want to believe that you can find anything anywhere, with regards to maintaining blatant ignorance towards anything that is anything you don't understand, is kind of foolish. Now, that you can find anything anywhere is fascinating. Truthfully. Whatever it is you're talking about, whatever it is you're thinking, whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you feel you can create, whatever it is you even think you're thinking, you don't own that. Your thoughts came from somewhere. You tapped into a frequency. And I've had this conversation before too. Your brain isn't creating thoughts. You aren't sitting there as an entity going, I'm thinking today. I'm thinking about peanut butter and kittens and fast cars and my stocks. I'm thinking about how I can amplify this and this and this. And I'm thinking and I'm going to create. A lot of us think that that's what we're thinking. It's kind of hard to get through the day without thinking. No, not for some people. Some people have no problem getting through the day without thinking. You're tapped into a frequency. You will do in your life exactly what you have allowed yourself to do. There's a saying that when looking at a mirror, it won't wink at you first. So the external life and everything that you're doing externally, or everything that's taking place externally, is actually in existence. So everything What I mean by that is everything that's going, that was a hard one to say. So everything that's going on around you is happening because of you. It is a mirror for you. So you look out there and you see everything that you see, and inside yourself you create, right? There's also this illusion that we are, how do I put this? We are inside the universe, which can't possibly be true, other than the fact that we would have to be the universe for us to be inside it. Now, I'm going somewhere with this. I know it sounds a bit weird out the gate and a little bit confusing, and I assure you, it's confusing for me too. It's really confusing for me. And this is kind of what I'm doing right now, is kind of speech therapy. It's kind of my opportunity to sort of say things out loud, and you guys are kind of along for the ride. Some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you can feel it. But back to what I was saying. What divides us from the space that we're in? Why do we think maybe our skin? Our skin is the divider between us and the universe? This thin layer of quarks, and quasons merged together to make atoms? My skin, am I inside my skin? If I cut off my arm and my arm is now in the dumpster, is there still a part of me in there? Am I in there? If I cut off all my arms, wait, I've only got two, so like both my arms. But if I cut off all my limbs, if I was by myself, it'd be a lot of work. I'd have to be meticulous on that last one, eh? All right, before I do this, let me just set the blade up here and I can run into it later. Oh, no, I can't do that because I don't have any legs. That's a topic all on its own. How would you get rid of all of your limbs? Sure, there's a way. But if I was just a dude with no arms and no legs, would that make me less of a man, or would that make me less of myself? Theoretically, it would make me less of a man. I mean, scientifically, yes, there's less of you. You're less of a man. But does it make me less of a man? Right? Everybody's so up in arms about getting offended. There's another part, another neat thing. When you get offended about something and you're like, holy shit, I'm so offended, right? This is an opportunity for you to either step up or step out. If you're offended, you ask yourself, why am I offended, right? None of you guys get offended. Being offended is merely reserved for those that don't have anything else to do, really. I'm going to get offended. Oh, for Christ's sakes, what now? Playing along with people getting offended is kind of funny too. It's like, okay, you're offended. I'm not offended. We've all seen things differently. We've all experienced things differently. At what point do we all just sort of accept everything for how it is and pick and choose who we want to expose ourselves to and remove ourselves from everything that we do and don't like? Oh boy. Well, now you're in an echo chamber, sir. So for every single thing that you can complain about or that you can embrace, for every single thing that you love and everything that you hate, there is a rhyme and a reason to all of it. The universe, then, you have to ask, how much of it do you have control over? And this lends itself right into quantum creation and how you, like your role in it. Sorry, I'm choking up over here. Your role in quantum creation. This is kind of what we were talking about on the last episode. Quantum creation is absolutely fundamentally beautiful. When you truly comprehend that everything you've ever truly wanted and everything you've ever needed is exactly what you have, based on the efforts that you've put in. And anything that you ever think you want is an obstacle for you to head towards, is an opportunity for you to grow into something. I really want this. So become the person who earns it. You know, society's so like, hand me everything now, and everything's all depravity and degeneracy and all this sort of stuff. And we're all entitled to everything now. Society's really just caving in on itself. For what reason? I don't know. But I do know that I'm observing it. And the only thing I know is that I can sit here from my perspective and have these thoughts, these conversations with myself, with you, with anybody. And by all means, feel free to join in on the conversation. Send us a text. 647-338-1265. Long distance charges may apply. And I know you're listening to this podcast, and this podcast was recorded a long time ago, but honestly, send us a text. If you've got something to say, just preface it. Hey, I was listening to, this is what you said. This is what I think. Let's open the bars. Let's open the communication. Let's talk. Join in on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourselves involved if you want to. And if you don't. Yeah. But I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your opinions, because I know a lot of this stuff, a lot of my shit's rambling. It has to come across as rambling because I don't fully understand it yet. But the only way I'm going to get there, and the only way I'm going to pull this together, is if I keep rambling and if I keep telling the stories. Now, here's the other thing too. We've got quantum creation and we've got our effects of quantum creation surrounding us. And we've got our doubt of quantum creation. We've got our doubts all around us that we could create anything, do anything, be anything, that we are anything. We don't believe in ourselves half the time. Why? Like, where did that come from? And you think to yourself, well, is it the universe? Is it the TV? Is it this? Is it that? Sure it is. Of course it is. We can get all the way through that. Now you're talking red pill, black pill, and white pill. That's what we're going to talk about next week or next episode, whenever it goes up. However these things happen. Red pill, black pill, white pill. That stuff's fascinating. But let's get back to quantum creation. You currently sit, like I said, inside the result of all of your efforts. You have winked at the mirror and it has winked back. So this is the universe. You're inside your own universe. You're not inside your head. The universe is you. All of it. All of it. So, if you're fat, lose weight. If you smoke cigarettes, quit cigarettes. If you drink too much, stop drinking. Right? Now, what happens with these theories? Well, shit. Everybody heard something everywhere that says, well, alcoholism runs in my family, and it's impossible for me to quit drinking because the doctor says this and the doctor says that. Maybe that's true. And again, if you are a specific case where you've got some sort of, absolute medical thing and you're doing your thing and you're listening to this and you want to shit on me, well, here's an opportunity for me to actually do what I was talking about before we went live when I did my intro. I have these little buttons I can press. So like I said earlier, I'm going to throw out a disclaimer for you.
Disclaimer. If you're going to soundbite any of this podcast, you must soundbite it in its entirety for consistency and context.
Oh boy, I no longer have to say that shit. I've got a button for that. That's fun. That's good times right there. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like if you've got to, don't take this is not medical advice. This is just me literally propagating through my lens of experience. So take it as you want, but I know from my firsthand experience, people will say things like quitting cigarettes is the hardest thing you'll ever do. Quitting, you can't quit drinking because alcoholism runs in your family. And we hear all these stories and we implement all these stories and we take all this stuff in. Cocaine is harder to quit than blah, 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 whatever it is. And I loved that stuff. Boy, howdy. Back in another lifetime. I don't even remember who I was back then, but boy, howdy. Wee. Yeah, I got rid of all of it. Right, the hardest thing, the craziest thing, the hardest thing that I've experienced in all of this is food. Dealing with food. We don't think it's bad for us. We don't think this, we don't think that. Every single thing we've ever been taught about food is bullshit as well. Do I have any answers? No. Do I have some suggestions? Absolutely. But with regards to food, it's your journey. So what are you left with? Hey, quantum creation. You can take from yourself anything that you don't like about yourself and fix it. I don't like this. I've got extra that. I'm too fat, like I said. I've got rolls. I'm unhealthy. My knees hurt. Right? What do? We're taught hands down since in birth to ask for help, to reach out. Call the doctor, get a pill. Go to the doctor. Rely on somebody. Trust the authority. Who? For who? And nobody's coming to save you. If you're overweight, hit the gym. Watch what you eat. Be conscious of what you eat. Here's a simple thing. I started November and I said, I'm a mess, right? Everything's going well. I'm creative. I'm doing everything. And I've put a lot of effort into the business. I put a lot of effort into a lot of people, and I let myself go. And I told myself all kinds of stories. I made up all kinds of shit. I told the story. I did this, I did that. And then time gets by. Then all of a sudden, 2 weeks is gone. 3 weeks is gone. And the summer's gone. Man, it felt like yesterday. It was May and we were rolling into summer and things were going to be great. And they were. Boy, were they. But you know what happens in summer? Barbecues, good food, friends, family. I'll put the diet off till later. Right? Life is created. You're created. You are living the exact quantum creation that you want. So the only thing is you have to really want it. You have to want it. You have to step into it to get kind of where you want to go and what you want to do. I have one more drop. I'm just going to use it. They gave me two, so I'm going to slap the other one out here now. It's kind of funny. I've got nothing to follow it up with, but I'm just going to use it.
In the news. Now.
Oh, that's a good one, eh? I'll be slapping that thing out there when I've got something timely that I need to speak about. Even though I don't really care about the news anymore. But let's just hear that one more time.
In the news. Now.
I love new things. I love change. I love creation. I love creation. Look at all the stuff that we've created. Look at the network that we are right now, the team that we are. Look at all of us listening to this show. You guys are growing with me. I'm growing with you. You guys are asking a lot of great questions. I've interacted with so many of you guys, and I love all of it. This is quantum creation. This is the reality. This is the thing that we got to do, right? So it really boils down to how much you really want to tell yourself that you can do it. I'm going to do it. I can do it. And here's the crazy thing. Anything that you think you can't do, just remember, you've already done everything up till this very moment in time. You have done everything that you've done. So who's to say you can't do something else? You are. You're the only person telling you can't do it. I can't lose that weight. I can't run that marathon. I can't talk to that girl. It's all an experience. It's all an experience. This is all happening for you. There's literally nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of. The coolest thing is this experience will drop little things all over the place for us to be afraid of. And then we have to navigate that and this, that, and the other thing. Like, obviously, don't jump into, if you see a bunch of really ravenous, hungry sharks swimming in a circle in the ocean, like, don't jump in. That makes sense. The fight or flight of it all doesn't allow us to do that shit anyway. But we sit here fully in control. Fully in control. And I remember saying these things before when I kind of understood it but didn't really fully understand it. And people would say things like, well, do you think that those people over in that part of the world want to be part of a war-torn society? And I'm like, oh, God, I have to do this. But that also came from my delivery. I knew that when I was spouting things off, I was talking arrogant. I was making arrogant statements and arrogant demands and sounding like an authority figure. I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, right now, the only thing I'm an authority figure on is how to take absolutely nothing but an idea and make money with it. Because that's what I had to learn to create the freedom that I needed to create, to be able to just come on here and talk to you guys whenever I wanted to talk to you guys. And with regards to podcasts, here's a fun fact. Of all the podcasts that have ever been started, and believe it or not, on this planet, there's only been about 4 million of them, which is not a lot. And if you were to take a guess, go ahead. How many do you think are still active right now? How many podcasts are active right now, which means they're recording at least once a month continuously? Here goes my voice. If you said 300,000, you'd be correct. So of all the people in the entire world, and podcasting is really picking up, of all the people in the entire world, there are 300,000 podcasters. And this show is the best one of all. I have a problem with creators. I have a problem with arrogant people. I have a problem with people thinking that they can just come on here and start telling you how to do things. Even though I'm kind of doing the same thing, I assure you that I am not trying to get you to do anything. I'm just sharing ideas and essentially adding to the frequency in which you're currently residing. And I'm saying, hey, here's a step over here. Check this out. And the only way I can do that is because I've lived through it. Right? Because I've lived through it and because I'm 100% open to absolutely everything. Nothing about me is closed-minded. And that's a massive difference. I look at these influencers and when I talk about quantum creation, to me, and again, from my perspective, these influencers have to exist. I hate the term influencer as well. But these influencers have to exist for me to look at them and go, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? Why do you feel the need to ram your own essence down the throats of everybody? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know what you're getting off. Like, I don't know what image you're trying to portray of like certainty and confidence and strength. And it's all just poppycock. Right? So I know that I must be the same to some people. It's never my intention. It's never been my intention to, I guess, come off that way. But there are things that I'm passionate about, and maybe those are the things that I come off that way with. But I'll tell you this, with regards to quantum creation, and with regards to my reality, and with regards to how I see and choose to see everything, I think that I see these things and the things that I don't like allow me to not have them inside me. There was a time too where I wanted everybody to like me, and I wanted to speak on certain things, and that doesn't work anymore. I mean, we're in the age of awakening and we're in the age of awareness and all that sort of stuff. And I know that my rough and gruff exterior is going to rub people the wrong way, but it's going to rub weak people the wrong way. But it's going to rub borderline people, not borderline personality disorder people, who are fantastic, by the way. Schizophrenic people are absolutely amazing. They have conversations with entities that we can't see, and we're like, you're crazy. We don't understand it. I don't want to talk to you. Boy, oh boy. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Me rubbing borderline people. If you're on the cusp of understanding or comprehending something, my personal take on a lot of things is going to change the way you view what you view. And that's just simply going to be adding to your repertoire. It's going to be a piece of your quantum creation. Right? Here's the coolest thing about quantum creation. Right? You're the only person that exists in your quantum reality. Your quantum reality has quantum entangled with mine because of frequency. And I'm just a dude sitting here speaking into a microphone. And you're somebody who's listening and tapping in and growing and creating more for yourself. And your frequency lined up with this frequency. And boom, here we are. Hello. Nice to see you here. The more you grow, the more you become something, the more you do something, the more you understand yourself, the more you believe in yourself, the more you trust yourself, the higher you elevate yourself. In a world that says put everybody else first, because we need to live through adversity, we need to live through conflict, we need to live through strife to truly understand what we're capable of. And as I was saying before, I used to back down from people that would be like, well, what about those people over there? Remember, if you ever bring up in an argument something about somebody somewhere else, the best thing you could possibly be doing, or the most accurate thing that you could be doing, is taking your entire life and switching it and putting it in their perspective, in their position. So you, somebody who grew up in mainland Connecticut, wouldn't understand what other people in other aspects of the world are living through. All we can truly understand is our perspective. And our perspective right now would not understand what it was like to be living in a war-torn country. We can only presume. So the manipulation runs deep with everything everywhere. And anyone that wants to denounce anything that I'm saying here, that's totally cool. Because what I'm saying here is for you to empower you. And once you're empowered, once you've properly put the effort and time into yourself, and you've built yourself properly, healthily, At that point, you can pick everybody up. Anyone that comes to you and anyone that needs your help, you can pick them up. You can help them. Any unsolicited advice, anything that you no longer have to go hunting anyone to help. You do you the best you can, and then by proxy pick them up. Because by picking them up, you also help yourself get better, stronger, faster, more. Quantum creation, ladies and gentlemen. Reality, influencers. This has been a hell of a topic. This has been a hell of an episode. I love this stuff, and I love this button right here as well.
In the news. Now.
Yes. So on my end, I want to get into some crazier stuff. I want to get into some more fun stuff. We haven't had any guests on the show in a while, and that's just because I haven't been overly eager to do that, to sort of do the interview style. I've just been having a lot of things I wanted to get off my chest, and I have been, and you guys have been awesome and listening, and I want to be more interactive with you. I want you guys, I want the listeners to be more interactive. Again, that phone number, 647-338-1265. That is an Ontario-based number, so that might be long distance for you. You can hit us up at info@thementalmasteryalliance.com. That'll be a good one too. I am preparing, we're having a page prepared right now where if you want me to come on your show, we're going to have a form set up. So we're going to have a droppable link where you can just be like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we talk about. If you're available and if you want to come on the show, we'd love to have you. I want to come out there and I want to guest on a bunch of your shows. I want to go and do another big tour and be on your show. I want to come on your show. So if you've got a podcast, I want to be on it. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Gardening, I can talk about that. I can talk about anything. If you have any interest in talking to me, that link will be available soon. Not right now, but soon. It will also be on the same link. There will be an opportunity for you to come on this show. So if you've never been on a podcast, if you've never been anywhere, we're going to do an absolute all call, and it's going to be a permanent. You may not get a call back. No offense. But if you want to come on the show and talk about stuff, there'll be an opportunity for us to find you and to connect and to figure that all out. That's coming. That is coming. And ladies and gentlemen, this has been fun for me. This has been a great rendition, a great show, a long time coming show. We're going to talk more about quantum creation in the future. Of course, I've got some people that I want to discuss this topic with. But remember, moving forward from here, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of effort and knowledge and comprehension. So get out there and get it done, man. You're the only one stopping you from doing what you want to do. The only one. And now, then, in the infamous words of Red Green, keep your stick on the ice.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Mastery Alliance podcast. Stay connected with us directly through the mentalmasteryalliance.com. You can also join the discussion on Instagram at instagram.com/the Mental Mastery Alliance. Let the team know you're listening by using the hashtag TMMA or tagging us at the Mental Mastery Alliance. To have your voice heard on the show, leave a voicemail or send a text to 647-338-1265. Long distance charges may apply. If you love us, leave us a review. If you hate us, you spend your time in weird ways, but also leave a review. Every review on iTunes tickles the algorithm, helping us grow. Until next time, unity over division. This concludes the most surreal portion of your day.
You got it, Pontiac.